Takamatsu's conceptual work can be understood through his notions of the zero dimension, which renders an object or form to observe its fundamental geometrical components. Takamatsu isolated these smallest constituent elements, asserting that these elements produce reality or existence. Between 1968 and 1972, Takamatsu taught at Tama Art University, Tokyo, and was a key figure in the development of the Monoha movement. Takamatsu's deep knowledge of topological geometry and principles of absence-emptiness were particularly influential on his students, such as Nobuo Sakine and other Monoha artists. However, one of the key differences that distinguishes Takamatsu's practice from Monoha is the presence, or direct influence, of an artist's creative subjectivity in the final form of the work. While many Monoha artists like Liu Fan centered the objecthood of things as they were through his principal renunciation of his artistic subjectivity, Takamatsu's work featured objects that were clearly manipulated with through meticulous plans. Takamatsu began his series of bent wire works entitled Point Series with Point. Point was Takamatsu's exploration of a single centripetal unit that cannot be divided any further, not simply a geometric term, however, but a singular moving entity that straddled the space-time of reality and emptiness. In the World Expansion Project, Takamatsu noted how things divide infinitely before the quantum mechanics quest. Imagine for a moment the elementary particle, which is the ultimate of division. It is ceaselessly potentiality. It is emptiness itself with infinitely increasing density. String plays on the extension and contraction of length, challenging the unit of measure as a stable mode of cognition dependent upon subdivision. Takamatsu was not primarily interested with the figural or aesthetic properties of string, but rather understood it as length itself. Takamatsu saw string as a form of minimal materiality that could be abstracted and contrasted against the concept of volume. When string is placed within different containers, such as a bottle, beyond the abstracted length exemplified by string, Takamatsu also used his series to worlds, prompting things enter into unexpected associations by attaching everyday objects to his ropes and cords. With shadows, Takamatsu launched a critical inquiry into the nature of painting by realistically painting images of people's shadows cast on white walls, uneven surfaces, or wooden planks to create a trompe-l'oeil effect. This series of works recalls Plato's allegory of the cave, as well as Pliny the Elder's account of the origins of painting, in which the daughter of the famed Greek potter Dibutades creates the first painting by tracing the silhouette of her lover. Takamatsu was inspired to paint the shadow in order to create images that exist solely in our imagination, using his theory of absence to world what actually exists nowhere. These paintings, ranging in scale, figure, complexity, and light source, show an object that is both present and absent, traced and imagined. These are shadows of people and objects long since departed, prompting viewers to consider the anti-reality or existence beyond the third dimension. Yoshiaki Tono noted that the perspective series can be considered a logical evolution of the shadow paintings. The space created in the perspective series using reverse perspective effects was a three-dimensional variation of that in the shadow series. Takamatsu models worlds that are discomforting, proposing a perceivable dimension where the rule of perspective that underlies our sense of perception is reversed or recanted. Takamatsu chiseled the top of logs with their bark intact to reveal square-shaped cores within, halting this process of revelation in a hanging suspension. Takamatsu occasions a situatedness in which wood can be seen beyond wood. That is why most people will gradually notice that they are looking not at mere wood, but at a relationship in the delimited situatedness of the wood. Continuing a deregulation of form, Takamatsu's compound series poses objects consisting of assemblages which undo our assumptions of form. Chairs are rendered unseatable by positioning a brick underneath its leg. Slabs of iron and brass posed as weightless by being held up by a piece of thin string. Whether shapes are generated or undermined. Takamatsu's interest exclusively centers on shapes, not on materials.